Under the undersea volcano's breath, a giant octopus rests in the glow of hot water and microbes.
Here, even a scavenger must be built like a tank, trading missing claws for the right to keep walls.
Both the ambush hunter and the armored scavenger depend on the same leaking heat, kept alive by fractures in the crust that...
From this height, the entire city of life hugs just a few dozen meters of rock. Even resting, it works, flexing skin and muscle to bleed or hold heat, letting tiny shrimp test distance. It sifts the ash like a farmer turning soil, feeling for buried fragments of shells and flesh before the next.
Across this tiny field, the same handful of chimneys anchors both predator and scavenger, their paths weaving around each other in careful loops.
Just beyond the last pillar of glow, the floor turns quickly to bare stone and thin dust.
When the vent coughs, it has seconds to climb out of the scalding tongue of water, or risk losing what remains of its armor to invisible burns. Around each patch of food, dozens of bodies negotiate for scraps, turning this narrow band of warmth.
These chimneys are islands in every sense. Between them lies a distance that might as well be a...
Even a master of stillness must pay in oxygen and heat, lungs of gills working harder after every burst to keep its muscles ready for the next reach. It works the poor ground simply because there is nowhere else to go, chasing smaller and smaller rewards as the richest layers are scraped away.
As one patch is exhausted, both giant hunter and giant scavenger are drawn toward the same new streak of life.
Another hunter arrives from the dark plain, its world lit not by chimneys but by the faint scent and sound of tired flesh. The shark keeps just beyond the steaming chimneys, letting sound and smell map where effort is being spent and where weakness will soon appear. The octopus hunts shrimp, the crab scrapes scraps, and the shark hunts the cost of their work, weaving its own path.
Orbit after orbit, the shark redraws its circle, shrinking the safe space between chimneys.
It feels the low-frequency pulses of muscle through rock and pulls its vulnerable skin closer to stone.
The crab's best defense is to become another piece of jagged rock, holding still on the narrow ridge, with each loop it shaves a little distance from the rocky edges, letting the smell of warmth and effort grow stronger in its open mouth. In a single heartbeat, the slow patrol becomes an attack, a burst of stored muscle released toward a single heavy mouthful near the foot of the chimney. The octopus spends its own safety to thicken the water with darkness and grit, turning the shark's clear shot into a blindly shared storm. It climbs by leaving pieces of itself behind, sacrificing a leg to gain a few body length of height, enough to let the shark...
From far away, the fight collapses into a single blurry pulse, another brief flicker of chaos.
It wins its escape by trading skin for distance, wrapping tender flesh around stone and heat until the worst of the rush has passed by. The shark leaves with less than it hoped, its effort repaid with grit in its gills and a mouth. When the water clears, the field still stands, but every survivor carries new costs written into their bodies and the landscape around them.
What one giant lost becomes a feast for dozens of smaller mouths. The cost of escape spread out.
Down here, nothing goes to waste. Even a broken limb is quickly stripped to the bone, its energy reissued in...
It moves forward on fewer supports, turning the memory of loss into a new, careful rhythm that still carries it to patches of sustenance. Soon the crisis becomes just another chapter in the field's ongoing rhythm, its residents slipping back into their roles. Taken as a whole, the chimneys look less like a battleground and more like a machine, turning chemical energy in. Beneath the visible bustle, it invests in a future it will never see through, tending tiny capsules of life. Around its altered gate,
Younger bodies learn the map of safe slopes and hot plumes, inheriting not just food.
The field is not owned by any single giant. It is a mosaic where each body's hunger and
Seen from the scale of the ocean's crust, the octopus's eggs, the crab, and the